Breaking news just moments ago. Donald Trump's lawyers have filed a motion to disqualify Georgia's DA, Fani Willis, and her alleged lover, Nathan Wade, from the RICO case against former President and Trump and 17 co-defendants. Let's bring in former New Jersey Superior Court judge and host of the Judging Freedom podcast, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Great to see you, Judge. Trump's lawyers say Willis has committed multiple ethics violations. First off, tell us your thoughts on that. And then on all of these cases, some legal experts are telling us these cases are all collapsing under the weight of absurdity and corruption. Are they right?
Well, I'll start with the big picture. That all the cases are not collapsing. The case in Florida, the Mar-a-Lago case, consists of the exchange of classified documents. All of that is done in secret. That's why we haven't heard anything about that, and that is moving along. The January 6th case, the matter is before the Court of Appeals on whether or not the president has immunity. They're due to rule next week, and they're probably going to rule, if oral argument is an indication of how they're going to rule against immunity. The case in New York, the Alvin Bragg case for poor bookkeeping, I don't even think that's a crime. And Bragg himself has put that on the back burner. That's not going to be tried for a number of years. But the case in Georgia is hot right now because of these allegations against Fani Willis. This is a, what were you thinking hiring your boyfriend? This is highly inappropriate, but I don't think it rises to the level of forcing her off the case, and I'll tell you why. When prosecutors engage in misconduct that does not impair the defendant's right to a fair trial, they suffer in the court of public opinion. They lose credibility, and it is probably a poor judgment for them to stay in the case because they're going to ask the jury to believe what they say. Why would you believe somebody that's engaged in this kind of a relationship? But that does not impair the defendant's rights. They didn't hide evidence from the defendant. They didn't ask witnesses to bribe, as sometimes they didn't ask witnesses to lie, as sometimes prosecutors do. I don't blame Trump's lawyers and the lawyers for the co-defendant for raising this, because the more you can tarnish the credibility of the government's lawyers, the more you can tarnish the credibility of the government's case. But in my opinion, this does not rise to the level where she's got to be kicked off against her will. If she wants to do the right thing, she will step down from the case and let other lawyers who are prepared to do so try it. But she's a politician. She wants to get reelected. She's not going to do that.
True enough. Meantime, ex-Trump advisor Peter Navarro, sentenced today on two contempt of Congress charges, gets 4 months in prison. Now, Democrats, as you know, Judge, they play for keeps. Meantime, the vote to hold Hunter Biden in contempt has been canceled by the Republicans. No consequences for Joe Biden's son. Do you support this double standard, and do you think Americans should support that double standard?
No, I condemn the double standard. I condemn sending anybody to jail where there has been no harm. There's no victim here. Who was harmed by what Peter Navarro did? He was harmed by the money he had to spend and the ignominy he's had to endure and the trial he had to go through. But people should not be put in jail in the United States of America for victimless crimes. This is a victimless crime, thumbing your nose at Congress. In terms of Hunter Biden, he was about to be held in contempt, and his very astute lawyer, Abby Lowell, said, Hunter, go and testify. All you have to do is take the Fifth Amendment. You have every right to assert your right to remain silent, but not showing up is going to end up with another prosecution. That's the last thing you want. And Hunter Biden took good advice from a good lawyer.